Hello friends, welcome to spring. You wouldn't know it's spring by looking out the window. It is a rainy day, but it is, and it is officially time to start thinking about my garden. So I'm running a couple of errands now. I just went and got, well, I'll show you when I get home. I got a few supplies at Walmart, but I'm getting some amendments. So I'm now at Adams, which is behind me. It is my favorite local grocery store up here in sort of upstate New York. It's sort of like Whole Foods except local and better. I love this place, and every Adams location has an attached greenhouse and they are amazing. So I'm gonna go in there. Of course I'm gonna go look at the plants, but I'm gonna go buy worm castings because I have decided those will be part of my seed starting mix this year. And then I'm gonna get the heck out of this rain and go home and do some garden planning. So let's get to it. Right, I got my worm poop, I got some orchid bark, and then of course I looked in the greenhouse and they have a little section for less common plants, and I accidentally bought one. Oops. It is a philodendron black cardinal. Have you guys heard of that? I haven't. It's a little baby, but it does say caramel hybrid. So I don't really know anything about it, but I looked at the mature ones and they have really dark leaves. It kind of reminds me of how the ZZ Raven grows, and I'm digging it. So we'll see what this little guy does. Couldn't help myself, so new plant. So now it's time to go home and work on gardening for the spring. Good morning. It's actually the next day. After I got home yesterday from my shopping, I ended up making a bolognese sauce, which took hours, and then doing some other cleaning and domestic projects. And by the way, Andrew is in Florida right now. He's actually coming back today, but when he's away, I get to watch as many horror movies as I want because he's afraid of them. And I only get to watch a scary movie with him like every couple of months, and it's a big negotiation. So last night I decided I was diving all in and watching Martyrs, the French movie. Sorry, Luca is here with his toy. Have you guys seen Martyrs? Don't. I like scary movies. I like wild and out there and creepy and dark scary movies. I'm all about it. I wish I could unsee that. That was something no person should ever watch. And I feel gross. But it is the next day. I have recovered psychologically, and it's time to do plant care. I have a lot of plant projects to do today. I have to do some watering. I'm gonna do some repotting with some of the stuff I bought at Adams yesterday. And I kind of want to start looking at seeds for my garden and figuring out what I'm going to grow this year in the garden. So I'm also making bread. So before I do anything, this is a poolish, so this is the first step of making my bread, which I did yesterday afternoon. So I'm gonna mix it up. This has to do its thing for a few hours today too. So that'll be happening behind the scenes, but I'll show you my bread when it's done, if you want. Okay, bread is mixed, having a little mini coffee break, and then it's time to water plants. So I was in California for a week, and I've been back for almost a week, and I've only really watered a few of my plants, the ones that looked the thirstiest. So everybody's overdue. Sorry, clouds are going across the sky, across the sun. It's March, it's the end of March. I can't wait until the temperatures are warm enough to move all my plants out to the front porch, but we're not there yet. So I'm gonna water everybody for now, and then I also use this Fox Farm fertilizer, the liquid plant food Big Bloom. I've used this for a couple of years now, and I fertilize with almost every watering. I even do it in the winter, but almost all my plants are under grow lights in the wintertime, and they grow a lot. They've grown tons this winter, so I just dilute that and use it every time, so I'm gonna use that. And then we're also gonna do a little bit of pest control today. When I got back from California, I noticed one of my plants, it's like I can show you, hold on. It was right behind me because he's isolated right now. This is a little palm. I can't remember if it's called a Hawaiian palm, something like that. I noticed like 5 of the leaves look like crap and were dying, and this guy also kind of looks like crap. And then I looked at it and it had spider mites. I haven't had spider mites in years. So I isolated it. I actually just washed the crap out of it several times, and I'm gonna do some pest control spray. So I've only really treated for pests like once, like prophylactically once this winter maybe, so I think everybody could do with a good spray. So that's on the agenda, and then as I'm going, I'm gonna kind of pull out the plants that I want to repot. I wanna repot them before I water. So that's what's on the agenda. This little palm looks so cute though, it's trying to grow back. But yeah, typically if you see a whole bunch of leaves dying suddenly, you should probably think about pest issues, which was my problem. I feel like I might see a couple of stragglers. I have to say, I love these self-watering pots. I've talked about them in several videos. I have a little clarinervium in here, which is not particularly happy with me, but I don't blame the self-watering pot. I don't know what to blame, but anyway, I have a bunch of these. I love them. I'll link them below if you're interested. Sometimes if I'm using my fertilizer, I'll run the pots under the sink to kind of water them, and then I'll just kind of top it up with the water, the fertilizer water, so that I don't waste as much. So I have a few plants here by the sink. I think I'm just gonna kind of hose everybody down first. This little Aglaonema I want to repot. It's in very little soil, so I'm gonna repot that one. There's one little cutting of a snake plant that I have at work. I think it's a Bantal Sensation. I potted up, it was kind of drooping at work, so I potted it up here a while ago. I'm waiting for it to grow, which could take a while. It's rooted well, but nothing yet. So that was all my in front of the sink plants, but I do like to take plants to the sink to clean them off as often as possible. I maybe do it like once a month or so, just to shine them up, clean them up, give them a good rinse. So I'm not gonna do that with all my plants, but I might do it with a few of them. I've had this Mandula pothos for years now, and it's a slow grower, but it's growing well. I've propagated it a few times. Have you guys seen Jan Sydney Plant Guy's Mandula pothos that's growing up a moss pole? I really want to do that. I actually bought, ooh, maybe that's a project for another day. I bought moss. I bought everything. I forgot that I did that. I did that right before I went to California. Anyway, these are so cool. Hose them down. In the interest of time, I don't usually let these fully drain. I'll just kind of put them back, and then I can quickly go through later and dump out any excess water. So I'm gonna leave him there for a minute so he can drain a little bit. I have a ZZ Raven at work as well, and it's shooting out new growth. I love these plants. I feel like they only do that about once a year, but the new growth is like neon green, which is a fun contrast against the black leaves. I don't see anything coming yet on this guy, but he doesn't quite receive as much sun as the one I have at work, so we'll see. But these leaves can look really dusty, so I like to give him a bath. I have a lot of plants, so I try to make watering easy for me. I'm so excited for warmer weather when I can take all my plants outside. My plant front porch is like my favorite thing ever. And I have some bigger plants here that are just really hard to kind of take care of in the winter because they're so big. But it's gonna be 60 degrees today. I wonder if I should just take some of them out on the porch and hose them down. I should. They would love it. I have a, let me see, well, I'll show you in a minute. I have a snake plant that's pretty tall and a pain in the butt to move and water, and he needs a good spa day. I might do that. Oh, I'm so excited for my plant front porch. You guys, is this or is this not the cutest little baby monstera leaf ever? I've talked about this plant before. It's been through the ringer. It's a simple monstera, but we've been through some shit together, and it's doing better now than it ever has, so I'm excited about baby leaves. It'll be much happier when it can go outside and thrive. I was gonna water this philodendron painted lady. I love this plant. I can tell it's not loving the lower light situation as much. It's putting out some really small little leaves. But this pot is saturated. So I actually want it to dry out. I might even put it closer to a grow light, but I'm excited to see what this plant does. this summer when it can really thrive too. And just in case anybody's wondering how my Albo Monstera is doing, since I put it in Leca, it's doing fine. It's not suffering. It hasn't grown yet. However, I think I can feel the start of a new leaf coming here. It's at least thinking about it. Oh, it's definitely thinking about it. So, nothing yet, but Leca has not killed it. That was the easy part. Now I'm in the plant room where I have most of my plants. So I'm gonna do what I can to water these guys. Most of them need water. So I'm not gonna carry as many to the sink. Hopefully within a month or so, everybody will be able to go outside where they can have a nice bath. But honestly, I don't have the energy today. But they do need water. Gonna take out a few of these plants that I want to repot. This is a rabbit's foot fern. I've had for maybe a couple months. It's still not dead. This little philodendron majestic, which I've had also for maybe a couple months. It's just in this little pot with very little soil. So we're gonna do something with that guy. Have this desert rose, which I've been working on for a long time. It needs to not be in terracotta. I think it's drying out too much. I just stuck my finger in this pot of this Cebu blue pothos and it freaked me out because I stuck my finger down into a really deep hole in the soil. I was like, oh my God, what is growing in this hole? I forgot that I used to have this on a moss pole, so that was just where the stake from the moss pole was. Whew, that scared me, but no creatures. Sorry for the butt shot. I have a fair number of plants that do not have drainage trays under them. So if I water them, they go all over. I forgot that this was one of them just now. So I've got to move a few of these over to the sink to water. And then this side is done. And if you guys are wondering how long it takes, I probably have like 150 plants, maybe more. I've only been watering for like 30 minutes. I'm 70% of the way done. It takes about an hour once a week or so. So it's not that bad. But I'm gonna relocate a few of these to the sink and then we'll water the other corner of the plant room. Can we talk about my Thai constellation? I'm so excited. This plant is growing, it's thriving in Leca, it's putting out another leaf, starting to get bigger. I bought this on my birthday, which was 6 months ago, and it was in tissue culture and it was tiny. And it lost about half of its leaves, but I put it in Leca a few months ago, and it's taking off. I'm excited. That curly leaf is the remaining one that was on it in tissue culture, and it kind of curled and stayed that way. It looks good, it's just curly, but I'm excited to see what this guy's gonna do. And he seems to like being in Leca. Okay, so over here I have a bunch of snake plants at the top and they don't need to be watered, but I think the rest of this stuff does. So this is the one that I bought yesterday, the philodendron black cardinal. It says caramel hybrid. I don't know, I watched a bunch of videos on YouTube last night about black cardinal and they seem like they're fairly common. I don't know about this caramel hybrid. It's probably just a way that they can jack up the price. But it's a really cool color now, but it looks like when they grow up, they have really dark leaves, kind of like the ZZ Raven, which is my jam. So I may repot him. I'll show you. I also have a bunch of my soil and stuff that I bought yesterday. We'll see what I do. Okay, that was actually quick. Yeah. We'll move on to my final corner. I have some cacti in the windowsills, but I don't think I'm gonna water them yet. Okay, final corner. I'm gonna show you guys, I'm gonna water and then I'm gonna show you guys a couple things with this corner. All right, I gotta take a couple plants to the sink and I'm gonna show you guys a couple things. Okay, so part of my plant care project today is bringing Marie Kondo on my tasks with me. Some of my plants are not sparking joy anymore, and one of them is this Fittonia, which is dropping leaves. I bought one of these because Becadilla Plants talks about how it's her favorite plant. I kind of enjoyed it. They definitely do that Fittonia flop when they're thirsty, which is fine. But a while back, this one flopped and never really recovered. I could save it, maybe, but I just don't care. So it's gonna go. Plus, it's in a pot that I would like to use for other things. It's in this little plastic white pot that I got from Amazon, and it's got drainage holes and a little thing of mesh in the bottom. So it's really easy to water, and you can plant directly into it since it's got the drainage holes, but it looks a little more kind of modern. So I would like to use this for something else. So thank you for your service. Goodbye. I am going to show you a success story over here though. Let me see if I can flip the camera. I have a philodendron splendid that is going wild. Okay, so let me move this guy. I've got this splendid that I got a few months ago, probably like 6 months ago, and I put it on this plank. I made a video about that just to see what would happen. All the leaves when I got it were little, like this size, and as soon as I put it on the plank, it started growing and growing and growing and growing and getting bigger and bigger. And this leaf is really big. And when I went to California, it just kept going and it grew up through to the next level. And look, it put out another leaf here, which is beautiful, but it's a little wrinkled because it's kind of laying on there. And it's trying to do it again. So this plant is living its life. I just have to figure out what I'm gonna do with it, because I feel like it's gonna get kind of top heavy and tip over. But anyway, little plank, self-watering pot, grow lights. This plant is thriving. So let me put this back. Maybe I'll put it up. No, I got another plant that needs to be there. Let's put these back. I like this little jungle vibe that's going on here. This is that $10 fiddle that I got at Walmart and never water. And it's just, it's not exactly living its life. I still kind of never water it. I do better when it's outside in the summer. But he's hanging on. He's almost as tall as me. And I have some cacti in the windows, which I'm gonna leave alone for now. So, with that, my plant room is watered. I gotta fill my humidifier. I'm actually really good at doing that. I do it every morning when I'm waiting for my coffee to brew. So, plant room is done. I've singled out some plants we're gonna work on. I have a couple of other ones. I bought this seed starting mix and worm castings yesterday for garden seeds. And I bought this orchid potting mix, which I'm excited to try to use or mix in with what I already make for my plants. I don't know, I think I want something that drains a little better than what I have. I bought some terracotta pots too. So, I've got some plants upstairs too, but I think I'm gonna take a break from watering and work on some projects. All right, kids. I may have deceived you, but I didn't do it on purpose. I'm realizing this is kind of a long video. I don't know how many people prefer shorter videos versus longer videos, but I have seed garden stuff to do. I really want to go out on the front porch and do some things out there, and this would just be like a feature film if I did that. So I'm gonna end it here. So this is a plant watering video, apparently. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm also going to film my garden video today. So subscribe to the channel so that you can be notified when that gets released. If I'm smart enough to upload them at the same time, I'll put a link to that one right below, or maybe at the end of this video so you can just click on it. But yeah, I don't want to have like hour-long videos. So comment below, please subscribe, it helps. Follow us on Instagram if you like, Urban Farm Boys, or my Instagram is Nikas Arbata, as it has always been. And I hope you enjoyed checking out my plants, and let me know if you have any thoughts, opinions, comments. I'm gearing up to be excited about garden stuff next, so that'll be in the next video. So until then, take care, guys.